everyone, and welcome back to my sewing room. If you're new to my channel, my name's Diane and I like to share with you the things that I've been getting up to each week. If you can just see on the design wall behind me, you can see the quilt that I'm working on. I'm calling that one Dancing in the Dark. When I thought of that name, I said to my husband, is there a song, Dancing in the Dark? And he said, yes, it's the boss, Bruce Springsteen, and he's been humming that to himself ever since. I think it'll be quite a moody looking quilt when it's finished. I did have a few little issues with it, really all to do with fabric placement and colour choices and things like that, and so I was a little bit slow to start. So what I did was I finished the design, although that has been amended as I've gone along, and then I cut all the fabrics out and I thought, well, I'll just start sewing it, and then if I need to make alterations to the design, I will do that as I go along, which I have done. And as it's not finished, there may be more alterations, I'm not sure yet. And so once I've made the flimsy, I'll put all of that information on my community post. So I've had a few questions about where the designs go. I think you need to be a subscriber to my channel to get onto my post. And so if you click on and you go to my homepage, you'll see there's a line of choices that direct you, different links to different areas, and it'll be either post or community. I think it's posts. It's going to come together now quite quickly. I think I'm hoping that that will be finished for next week. That is the news of the quilt. I don't know how this is going to work, bear with me. I just finished filming and then I noted from my diary, which I'm still keeping, that I forgot to mention Natasha. So I'm really sorry, Natasha. So if it makes sense, I will slip it in near the front, because it's all to do with designing and making quilts. So I do design and make my own quilts. And Natasha contacted me and said, have you got any designs for a double wedding ring quilt? And I know the quilt, I know the design. It's just something that I've never sort of been drawn to. So I did have a little look around and at other people, and I noticed that that the late lovely Donna Jordan, she had a video about 5 years ago and she called it the easy way to make a double wedding ring, and she used templates, specific templates. So there'll be that video available if you want to go online and look for that. And also Dave's craft room, and he called his the hardest quilt ever made. So he used EPP, and so I think that sort of reflects the difficulty of the quilt. It's not a quilt for beginners. It's small pieces if you're not familiar with it, and they're cut on angles, and then there's curves. So it's accurate cutting that you need, and it's accurate piecing that you need to make these sort of rings overlap each other. So if you can make a double wedding ring, you can make the Olympic flag. The Winter Olympics are on at the moment. That would be a doddle. So yeah. So I haven't really any thoughts of making one of those at the moment, Natasha. I never know what, grabs my attention. So sorry. Hope that helps. Dave's craft room or Donna Jordan, I would go if that's something you want to do. Or if any else of you out there have some suggestions for Natasha, that there's perhaps a good design site somewhere or templates or whatever, perhaps you could put it in the comments for her. The other news for this week was it was my birthday on the 4th of February. And so I didn't do anything on the 4th of February, sewing in my sewing room at all. And on other days during the week, I've had family popping in and out on different days. So I did have some vouchers as a gift for my birthday. And I went to our local craft shop, and I'll show you what I bought, because of course some of that is fabric and thread related. The fabrics that I've bought, I'm thinking of making either a heritage or a vintage style quilt. So I think the reason I'm thinking about vintage quilts or heritage quilts is there seems to be a lot of it going around at the moment. And when I first designed this quilt here, I called it the vintage quilt. I sat down to design a vintage quilt, but sort of got waylaid. So the reason I'm thinking vintage or heritage is when I go to my local Project Linus to drop quilts off, they often have a sale table. It's not easy to say. And these are supplements that are brought by some of the people that go to the group, and they package them together in groups of, I think there's about 5 magazines, and you can buy them very cheaply. This one here, there's some lovely articles, and I'll show you some of the images. So that I found very interesting to read. And I've also got this book, Patchwork and Quilting in Britain, and there's sort of some historical quilts in here. And there is this one. This one is popping up on YouTube quite a lot recently, the Mrs. Billings quilt. I don't want to do an exact replica of any of the vintage or heritage quilts that I see. I just want to pull elements that I like from them. So I'm looking at that. In this one, there is a modern quilt called the Devon County Heritage Quilt. It's that little centre one. So they've put a modern take on. So I'm thinking something like that. And so I'll show you the fabric that I bought. The first piece I bought was this little fat quarter. There's 4 pieces in it. And it's been inspired by fabric Kelmscott Gardens from the Victoria and Albert Museum. And so there's 4 pieces in there, which I think look beautiful, like a William Morris style. And so I bought one of those. The thing I like about heritage quilts or vintage quilts is often they're quite scrappy. And so I don't really think I want, big pieces of fabric. I'm not sure. I haven't got an idea yet. Like I say, I keep on it's mulling. It's in the background mulling. And so I bought this fat quarter, and then just as I was walking past the sale display, I came across this lovely piece of fabric here, and I'll show you that one. And although it's a floral design with a little bit of a modern look to it, I think that could work well in a vintage quilt, and it works beautifully with this William Morris fat quarter bundle. And so I bought that, just over a metre, I think, of that one. And then I noticed they had this. I always look out for tone-on-tone whites or creams when I'm in any of the shops to see if there's anything. They only had this one small piece, so I bought all they had. And that was just over a metre. And these fabrics all work beautifully together, although I wouldn't really say that pale is a vintagey looking pale. So I might not include that, I don't know. Like I say, I'm just in the collecting process at the moment, which is great fun. And also, if you watch Lessons Learned with Sherry McGill, she's also working on a vintage style quilt, and that was called Laurel Ridge, and that's beautiful as well. I like that one. So it seems to be that every time I'm sort of drawn to something at the moment, or my ears are pricked up, it's usually by that. And so, still in the thinking, designing, collecting process for that one. And also, while I was in the shop, I thought I'll buy some felt, because if Marion or Marion's World is going to make anything soon for her winter garland, I want to have some things ready to hand. So, like I say, I had some gift vouchers, so I bought just a couple of pieces of felt there, not very much at all. But then I bought this little set of floss, and it's all neatly packaged and beautiful colours. So I've got a really, really good start there now. And I think that's it now for all the sewing related things. Oh no, there was also another sale, I forgot almost about that one, and it had been reduced to £2 a metre, and there's 3.5 metres of that. And so I thought, well, it's just a crime to walk past that, and so I bought that as well. And so that is the fabric that I bought from, and the sewing related things I bought from the craft shop. I have also got some fabric delivered this week. If you remember, I am making a house quilt for Christmas in July, and I thought it might be a nice idea to put some characters in the doorways and the windows. And so I was on the lookout for some fabric. So my Rainbow Fabrics that I shop at online store, they had 70% off on their fabrics, their Christmas stock. And so I ordered 4 different pieces. And then I had an email saying that 2 of the dead stock were damaged and they couldn't sell those. So would I like to choose 2 more? And so what I decided to do was to just bulk up on the Santa one, because they had that in stock, and in the end I bought just over 3 meters of that. And so that now is all of my fabric purchases. I have got some other fabric to share with you near the end of the video, which wasn't a purchase, which was a gift, and I'll share that. So sewing done. I would also like to share with you now my beautiful tulips. So when I said last week I wasn't sure whether they would turn pink, you can see they are definitely pink. Salmon Dream, and they are very dreamy, beautiful. So I've been really pleased with these. They last longer than a bunch of flowers, and they cost the same sort of money, so I prefer to see them grow. I also bought a pot of 5 hyacinth bulbs, and those were called, can't remember, they're not open yet. I'll put the link below. And I already had a pot of 3 hyacinth bulbs, and they're beginning to open now. And so what I thought I would do was, as I turn these every day, I'll take a photo so you can see their progress over a week. And so I'll put that little film together for you to see now. So you can see how beautiful they look, and the smell from the hyacinths are filling the whole of the kitchen and dining room. It's beautiful, smells really lovely. So like I say, they cost the same amount as a bunch of flowers, but they last longer and you can see them grow, which I like to do. So that is the inside. And as you have a look on that last image, you could see the rain. We've had a lot of rain in the UK. Most of Europe have been hit by rainstorms. I thought I would share with you some of the little treasures in the garden. So beautiful snowdrops, they're coming out, and the acognites, they're coming out, they're lovely. And there are treasures to look at. But generally, if you look out my window, this is what the weather has been like in my garden. If it's not raining, it's like this. As you can see, there's a breeze and a grey sky and not very much sunshine at all. So although it doesn't look very bright in the garden, it smells absolutely beautiful, a honey vanilla mix, and it all comes from this Sour Cocoa Confuser. It is beautiful, and on a mild day I have seen bees out there, but it's too wet and windy at the moment and cold. But it's there ready for them when the weather picks up if the bees want to venture out. But I bought one shrub when we first moved into this house, and about 12 years ago, and I've been taking softwood cuttings from them over the years and putting them around the garden, and my idea is to give myself a little low hedge. It smells lovely. It's a nice dense bush, and you can trim it into a low hedge if you want to. So my idea is to have hedges around the edge of the garden to sort of contain the wilderness that I like to grow in. And so like I say, I've taken softwood cuttings over the years, but if you look underneath this shrub here, you can see there's lots of self-seeders. And so on one of the milder days, I went out and I was digging up these little seedlings, and I've put them all the way around the pergola legs. I'm thinking I might make a low hedge around the whole of the patio. It would be lovely. So if we do get a nice winter's day, when it's mild, I do like to sit out and have a coffee out there, and it will smell beautiful if I do. It smells beautiful now. And I think that's all in the garden. The hellebores haven't changed much from last week, so I'll wait until they open a bit. The bulbs that I've planted are starting to break the earth now, so they're coming up. I've planted that many, I can't remember really what I've planted. And also, when we had the garden work done, I was just digging up bulbs, clumps of bulbs, and saving them. And then when we could put things back in the garden, I was putting the bulbs back in. So I don't know yet what is where. So that is all of the garden. Barbie, if you're watching, thank you very much for your lovely letter. Barbie wrote to me, and it was really nice things that she said. I mentioned about anniversaries, and Barbie said now that she is going to make the most of every celebration that she can. And I think that we need to, sometimes step away from all the seriousness in the world and start to celebrate the things that we can. We can control our own little space sometimes. And so I thought, that's what I'm doing this year. I'm going to celebrate wherever I can, the good things. And you can make up things to celebrate. Barbie said she was going to celebrate her first date, which is 48 years with her husband, when he asked her out. I beat you. We were childhood sweethearts, Barbie. It's 52 years for us in May. There's anniversaries for almost anything, or celebrations if you look hard enough. And I noticed that even a name has a special day. So I looked up, somebody told me they were celebrating their special name day. So I had a look up to see when Diane was my day, and it was the 26th of January, which was on a Monday. Unfortunately, I forgot. And I didn't turn the diary over, and so I missed my celebrations on the 26th of January, but it's down now for next year. So have a look around and see. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. That's the sort of week I've had. I haven't been able to do anything. I'm filming. It's getting dark now, and it's getting on a Friday night. So if I can't get this out in time, I will send you an apology. But here's something else, something silly. Gardening is so exciting, I wet my plants. I mean, it just made me laugh. And what also made me laugh is the person that bought me that for my birthday gift. I can imagine them finding it and laughing about it. So although I found it funny, I found it even more amusing imagining them coming across it and laughing and finding it. So I'm looking around to celebrate whatever we can. Another one of our lovely community has sent me this. Estella, a huge bundle of fabric. Estella is moving house, she's destashing, and she kindly offered me this fabric bundle for quilts that I can make for the Charity Quilts Project Liners. And there's all sorts of things in here. And I started flipping through them. I think the people in America that watch, you'll be familiar with this. It's not very much, but I think it could be the start of something lovely. All the different national parks that are there. But there's all sorts. And as I've been flicking through, I'm just completely overwhelmed with ideas in a good way of all the way that I can combine the fabrics with the fabrics that I already have. So thank you once again for that, Estella. It will all find a good home eventually. I'm just jumping in here quickly. I'm editing the video at the moment, and I just realised that I needed to make an apology from last week. Last week I mentioned Simply Quilting with Nancy Saunders, and Nancy is making a lovely quilt. She makes lots of lovely quilts, but she's making a particularly lovely quilt with Jessica Diane, and I made a mistake with her name. Last week I called her Jessica Rayon, so I just want to put that right. And Nancy is following the quilt along with Jessica. I think Jessica's on the 4th week at the moment, and Nancy is pulling some really lovely colours from her stash and making this quilt. So I'm copying down the blocks at the moment. I haven't started the quilt along. I will work with those blocks, I think. I am inspired to use them. I'm not sure how I'm going to fit them into my schedule or anything at the moment, but thank you, Nancy, for pointing me in the direction there. So my sewing for next week is to get this hopefully finished, and I've got the back, I've got everything I need to finish it. It's just life. So hopefully I will finish that if I can. I will be making Project Linus quilts. I am popping over to Project Linus on Tuesday this week, and so I'll be dropping off 4 quilts there and picking up some more labels so I can start making those again. So if you are still with me, thank you very much for your company, and thank you for all of your kind comments, for sharing the things that you've been doing as well. And I will see you again next week. So whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Look for reasons to celebrate. So I will see you soon. Bye.